The following content contains adult language and humor that is not suitable for viewers under the age of 18. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. The views and opinions expressed during the following video content are those of the individual and may not reflect those of others. Thank you.
Pacific414 Pop Talk is here. Sit back and relax and join the conversation. We've got Baron, Norman, Tax, Cash Money, 007, and even Mike too. Pop culture, entertainment, news and reviews. Discussions are had. Opinions made from the panel to the track. Everyone is welcome here. Reactions, watch parties, and special guests. We like to have a good time. Pacific414 Pop Talk is underway. Pull up a seat, we're inviting you to stay. Articles, collectables, reviews say Baron, Cash, and Mike bring the fun tonight. Now sit back, relax, enjoy the show. Don't forget the like and comment below. We almost forgot to share out the show. Pacific414 Pop Talk is one of a kind. It's true. One true. It's true. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome, one and all, to this edition of Pacific 414 Pop Talk. Baron, what the hell are you doing?
I was trying to put you in the right spot. I got confused.
I was in the right spot.
I went dyslexic. I blame it on Mouse. Mouse told me to.
Right. He came up to you, purred sweet nothings in your ears, and said, "Change it, change."
He's on my lap right now.
Yep. The influence of the mouse.
Yeah.
But good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome, one and all, to this edition of Pacific 414 Pop Talk, coming to you live on the Pacific 414 YouTube channel, Rumble channel, and also Pacific 414 on X. Along with Baron Norman Tag, I am your host, Mike. And today we have several articles that we are going to discuss, and also take a look at a couple of movie trailers. The first movie trailer that we'll take a look at tonight will be the Toxic Avenger official trailer that was released today. And then we'll also take a look at the Happy Gilmore 2 trailer that was released yesterday. Of course, two of our big topics for today are going to be Starship Troopers remake, and also Ubisoft threatening legal action against anyone who goes after their developers.
About time for me to call my lawyer again.
But first, before I ask you how you're doing, I want to find out how the Padawannabe is doing, and also DJ Ronnie G.
Nerd.
So, Baron, how are you doing?
Oh, not too bad. Feeling a lot better. It's a little fatigued, but yeah. Don't go out there and get the cool people. It's not that fun. This is the fourth time I had it. The worst I ever had of it. But yeah, things are slowly getting back to normal as this can get around our place. Especially with the weather. Nice, then it gets cold. Then it's nice. Now it's cold and windy, and who knows. The weather around here is so bipolar. And yeah, welcome to Wacky Wednesday here on Pop Talk. Hit that like, hit that sub, and share this out. Share it to your friends, and more importantly, share it out to your enemies. Back to you, Mike.
The way that it's going to make it wacky could be our reaction to that Toxic Avenger trailer.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. That's why Oh yeah, and DJ the Missus is doing better. She went back to work today, but they did put her into an area where she didn't have to talk because she's lost her voice. Always does in situations like this. That voice goes. And for me, paradise. And thanks,
And
DJ.
Padawannabe says, "Cool, a movie I heard about."
What movie's that?
Could be Happy Gilmore too. It could be Starship Troopers,
Could we be Flesh Gordon? Who knows?
Flash.
No, 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 not Flash. Flesh, the 1974 film.
All right. I thought you said Flash.
No,
Ah,
no, Flesh. No,
my bad. My
the,
bad. My
the
bad.
naughty, the naughty, the naughty
I'll
film.
take the air. I'll take the air.
You will.
Yeah.
Yep, 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 yep. I hear Padawannabe is a connoisseur of that film.
But other than getting better, have you and the missus been watching anything while you've been recovering?
Besides, besides of course on Patrol Live, that's their little guilty pleasure. But Sumu, baby, right, DJ? I hope you're paying attention, DJ. Sumu is back. We're catching up on some of the matches, but because we fell behind because the missus was in hospital for a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun and it's a grueling one for all of them. There's no undefeateds anymore in the trying to get to the championship. So at least everyone's had one loss, and they say, yeah, usually the March one is a little crazy that way. And people who did great the last time are not doing so good this time. But honestly, Sumu is fascinating to watch. Get NHK, NRK, no NHK, and they have all the, or you can look for it on the YouTube, and you can catch the highlight reels, and they kind of explain stuff as it goes along. But it is a fascinating sport. Just watched it for a whim, and we got sucked into it. Sandy has her favorites out there. Watatakakake, one of them.
And speaking of
Like,
Japan, the Cubs and
yeah.
Dodgers played two games in Japan that count for the regular season at the Tokyo Dome, and the Dodgers ended up winning both of them. So Cash should be very happy about that.
And those satanic nuns. Yeah.
But
Cash's favorite part of the series, whenever the Dodgers play, is when they come out. He loves those girls, guys, whatever they are.
let's say we start talking about one of our articles for today. And the first article that we are going to talk about is, of course, Ubisoft threatening to take legal action. So let me just get the link out there first, and then I will queue up the video.
Well, first of all, let's get it get into action on it right away here. Let's just cut to the chase. Hey, Ubisoft, you suck. All of you suck. Okay, call your lawyers. There you go.
Thanks, Baron. Thanks.
They can talk to me. They don't have to talk to you, but come on, if you're my brother, man, you stand alongside of me.
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't really care who plays the game, who doesn't play the game, who likes the game. I do think that this, you know, report it, it's it's bullshit. I'm just gonna say
Yeah.
it's bullshit that they're threatening legal action because somebody's gonna say to their developers, "This is what you developed. This is the type of
Hmm.
game you
Hmm.
developed for those of us who have been Assassin's Creed fans, and you're going to disrespect Japanese culture."
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do about that, Ubi? Well, you don't have the story up just yet.
No, no, I don't, because there was also another one that Cash had posted, so I
Oh,
kind of want to have that in correlation, but I don't have it up, so I'm getting
uh,
it right now. So I'm trying
Cash,
to
this is
buy
what
some
happens when you're
time.
not here. Cash, come on, get your ass over here. This is why we need you. Mike needs you really bad right now.
I,
You're the
I,
one that had that great story.
I,
No,
I,
but I mean,
I,
when it comes,
I don't need him.
when
I don't need him. I know where to find.
I know,
I know
I
where to find it.
I don't, but we just don't know where to find him. Um, but no, in all seriousness
In the
though,
kale aisle.
yeah, Kale Isle. After getting that that teriyaki and buffalo flavored tofu. But in all seriousness, though, it's like, well, yeah, what's going to happen when you have people, Japanese, that love their culture and they're already pissed off,
Well,
and they're going to
you,
call them to task?
I,
Are you going to go
I,
after them?
I've got a story. Why don't we just go into that story first, and then we'll
Yeah.
talk about Ubisoft.
Okay, you got a
So,
story. I thought we were going to Ubisoft. Okay, never mind. Okay,
well,
go.
well,
What is the
you
story?
mentioned Japanese culture. How are the
Yeah.
Japanese gonna react to this? Well, let's go ahead and call an
Well,
audible here, and
okay.
it's
I
just something that we do here on Pop Talk occasionally. We
Yeah.
call an
Okay. Well,
audible, and
I see it's my fault. I started off talking about sumo, and you better
it's
be
not.
watching it, GJ. Calling him to task.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
No, it's
You know,
DJ's fault.
no, it's not DJ's fault either.
I'm gonna blame him.
Oh, it's not his
Oh, there we
fault.
go.
It's not his fault.
It's his
And
turtle's
let's
fault.
see. We also have Brandon Looney Tunes fan 2000 in the chat.
I'm
Welcome,
not high
Brandon.
yet. Not yet. I'm not high yet. So working on
All
it.
right, so let's go ahead and get into this first article, ladies and gentlemen.
No, it.
When you're doing shows like this, you got to be able to go on the fly.
I can't handle doing that. I have to go by a script. You ruined my script, man.
Well, what script? We don't have no stinking script.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, I forgot. By the way, hello to the lovely Lady Mist. Thank you for coming today.
Good,
Always great to have her. In.
good to see you tonight, Lady Mist, and thank you again for the $2 super chat last night that she
Oh,
gifted me during the Rise of the Ronin stream. And speaking of Rise of the Ronin, if you haven't picked up that game's worth it.
no, it's not. You going after Admiral Perry. By going after Admiral Perry, you threaten the chances of us having Transformers, because it's because of Admiral Perry opening up the gates to Japan that we got Transformers.
Calm down, Baron. Calm down.
I will never calm down.
It's a fictional story set in that particular time.
I'm calm, calmer than
But
you.
having the game done by a Japanese company, you better believe they're going to
Oh
respect
yeah,
their own culture and lore.
oh yeah, hell yeah. I mean, it's interesting to see a game from their viewpoint, on their history, on their take. So it's like, as I always argued, is that's a part of getting this worldwide culture in, is getting it unfiltered from other places, and you can see uh, how they react and perceive things. So, but again, if it wasn't for Admiral Perry, we wouldn't have Transformers.
Yeah, Baron kept saying that last night in the chat. And it's like, I'm thinking to myself, and I didn't say it to you, Baron, but I'm thinking he does realize that Perry doesn't get killed in Japan, doesn't he?
No, he doesn't. I just didn't want you to kill him. And it's like, you're going to change history, man.
Are you kidding? You want me to cause a major paradox in the space
Yeah,
time
yeah,
continuum?
I do. Don't you? Wouldn't that be fun? Kick open an alternate universe. It's like, whoa, this is a little bit better here.
All right, so let's get into this story from Niche Gamer, and it says Assassin's Creed Shadows Shrine Destruction prompts response from Japanese government. Ooh,
Ooh.
mm.
I think this is from Cash, right? I think I briefly looked at this.
Yeah, it says Japanese Prime Minister, and please forgive me. I'm going to try to pronounce his name the best I can. Shigeru Ishiba
Yeah,
said that
Ishiba.
he
Yeah, yeah, pretty good there. Pretty good, Mike.
said that he would like to discuss legal measures when asked about the depictions of shrines and other locations in games like Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Hmm.
According to the Japanese site GameSpark, the topic of Assassin's Creed Shadows and how players were able to destroy environmental objects and kill Japanese civilians was brought up at the House of Councilors Budget Committee. Lawmaker Kata Hiroyuki brought up the depictions of the shrines, excuse me, and noted that Ubisoft had allegedly not reached out to the shrine for permission, and that if they do so, then they would be willing to consult the relevant departments and ministries. Well, Assassin's Creed Shadow has been in trouble from the start because they're
Yeah,
taking a story and they're putting their own spin on it.
right. And which putting a spin on it is not unusual. It's just how they put the spin on is
Hmm.
what's being contentious area. So
So it says
there-
Kata went to express concern that the depictions of destruction seen in the game may be related to an increase in tourist pollution, wherein tourists are vandalizing landmarks with graffiti and carvings without respect for the location. I'm sorry, you go to another country and you see their monuments, their shrines, you should give them your ultimate respect. It's not your
yeah,
country, it's not your laws, it's not
right.
your land.
Yeah, I mean, just because it's a shrine of something that's not your religion doesn't give you the right to go on in there and just start doing damage to it or throwing garbage all over. And see that's just it. Watching a lot of this about the culture of Japan and how they
Mhm.
are. As they back and say that you hardly see really garbage or trash on the ground because they would not litter. They take pride. In
Mhm.
fact, it's hard sometimes to find a garbage can because people will carry their garbage and deposit it at home or where they do find one, right? So
Yeah.
watch some of these walking videos. It's just fascinating to see. You don't see uh, you see the garbage or trash, or if there is some, it's something because of something special, and they're waiting for the trash to come by and pick it up because of an event or something like that. But even when they have events, it's clean.
Yeah,
Uh,
it is.
Yeah, I mean, if you start going into those back alleys, which is still kind of quote unquote streets, because that's the only way you get access to some of it. I mean, it's like a little mini street, but it's an alley with these little hole in the wall places. You won't see necessarily graffiti, but you might see stuff posted. Stickers and posting
Mhm.
stuff and advertisements uh, you know, for various lounges or shows or places. But relatively, you will not find much graffiti because again, they take pride.
Mhm.
And just like you take your shoes off before you go into their house, or at least in the
Exactly.
entry area where they have the spot where you can take your shoes off, and if need be, get slippers. I mean, slippers are okay, um,
Mhm.
especially when it's cold. But it's these little things, especially with dare I say, even the weebs out there just don't seem to freaking understand about Japan. Their understanding Japan might be just anime and who knows what else. Jake and Logan Paul running around like freaking fools over there. But no, again, we're not one world. We're not one culture.
No, we're multiple cultures.
And Japan is getting fed up with the tourists. They don't necessarily want to
Mhm.
see the pale skin round eyes walking around there because they instantly associate us with being destructive. Gonna go
I
out there, not respectful.
I saw a video not too long ago of American tourists had to be, in their late 20s, early 30s, going around and being obnoxious, and the people of
Yeah,
Japan weren't having it.
right. I mean, yeah, and they shouldn't. They shouldn't have to put up with it. I mean, I want to go over there sometime and just experience it. But
Same.
which category do you think I'd be in? You know, it's like you learn to, you give, you have to give the proper bow,
Mhm.
and there's certain greetings and such like that. You try to be as respect. If they can see that you're trying your best to follow their cultures and stuff like that, they give you a wide berth and they'll help you.
Mhm.
But if you're just going over there being the quote unquote ugly American, it's not just Americans, by the way. It's also Aussies. It's also Germans. They get visited by a lot of people that's quote unquote West, um, and they just don't understand it. Their understanding is like, oh, Godzilla and anime, boobs and blood.
There's a lot more to Japan than just anime.
Right, exactly. Well, yeah, I mean, granted, it's a big part of their culture over there now, but it's not the end all be all, and not everybody in Japan likes anime.
Mhm.
I know, shock of shocks.
And the article goes on to say a day one patch for Assassin's Creed Shadows has reportedly been released, which limits the sorts of actions which can be taken at shrines and similar locations. Well, it shouldn't be in the game at all.
No, I mean,
I
if you have, oh, sorry.
I understand, games having environments that you can destroy, but when it comes to shrines and monuments that mean a lot to the people, the local populace of that country, no, that's off limits.
Well, it's the ID4 effect. I mean, when everyone was going nuts watching the White House and the Capitol and the Empire State Building, all these other places getting destroyed, monuments and landmarks as such, and they're all cheering in the theater. Uh, this it's just escalated from there. Who cares about
Mhm,
these anymore? The only time the only reason why you should have that shrine in there is, for like dialogue, getting mission quest, whatever it is, going in there and learning more and advancing the story for the character to be contemplating what's going on. As a shrine should be. It's
mhm.
holy ground. Think Highlander, folks. Holy ground.
It goes on to say the Assassin's Creed franchise is known for being inspired by history and using real world locations. In the past, the game has featured cathedrals and similar holy sites with little incident. Then it goes on to say that it's set to launch on the 20th, which is tomorrow, across Windows PC, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and Amazon Luna. Like I said, if there's someone out there that wants to play this, fine.
Oh
It's
yeah,
your
cross
money.
your heart.
Do what you want.
Well, yeah,
But
I'm
I,
not going to
I,
tell
I
anybody no.
have no interest. I'm playing Rise of the Ronin, and I like that game.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm going to stick with the Barricade 3. It's like, you want to play it. I understand there is a story there. I realize that the game, the gameplay is good, all that stuff. Uh, so be it. The only time I will criticize utterly you as a player is if you're going in there so you can have the bear sex. Other than that, go ahead, have fun. Just don't ask me to join in. And
Hmm.
the same here. I'm not gonna, okay, fine. You want to play it? Have fun.
And the Padawannabe says Assassin's Creed used to be all about accuracy and history. That's
Yeah,
what made it so good in the past. The story was altered, but the game was photo accurate.
yeah. I mean, there's always going to be certain licenses, but it's how they do those licenses. Uh,
Hmm.
is what helps make that game even better. But you realize that you're playing a historical game, but it's still not history. But remember remember back with the Gulf War or stuff like that. Oh, we can't, you can't touch a mosque. Oh no,
Yeah,
no, no, no. Yeah, how dare, it's like, and the same ones who are probably screaming that are ones that are sitting back rooting about the destructions of the shrines in this game. I know, I realize it's pixels, but the thing is the impact is still the same,
yeah,
especially with a spiritual people like the Japanese. They're
hmm,
spiritual.
there are.
And when they view that as a disrespect to their faith, their religion, well, rightly so. I mean, I don't want to see churches getting blown up.
No, I don't want to see anybody's shrine being blown up,
Mhm.
place of worship being blown up.
Yeah. I mean, granted, sometimes it's abused, and people do take over houses of worship and use them as basis of operation for attacks.
Yeah, didn't the
But
Nazis do that during World War II?
yeah, they did that, and we bombed the heck out of that church. We didn't like to, but the thing is the terrorists were doing that during the Gulf War, but we still didn't
Hmm.
touch it. It's like, wait a moment, they've just violated that temple or that mosque. In my eyes, that's no longer a mosque. Just like a church, if they're using it to get weapons and all that in a church, it's fair game. And the people that get damned for it is not the ones that do the attack, it's the ones that were using it as such to cause the attack.
Mhm. And it's good to see Jet Sparks here, who says Ghost of Tsushima did the whole thing with samurais better than whatever the hell Ubisoft is trying to make with Assassin's Creed. Yeah, let's see. Padawannabe says, I thought the Slave Samurai was a true story. It's a true story, but the way I understand it, he never fought in any battle.
Mm-mm. No.
And Jetspark says, I'm pretty sure angry German people were secular. Uh, yeah, yeah. But we're not done talking Assassin's Creed. Not by a
Yeah.
long shot.
No, being that Mike derailed us right away in the beginning of this show, I tell you.
No, no, no. Called an audible.
It's called an audible. He called an audible. That's right.
Because you mentioned the culture. It's like, wait a minute. Cash posted that one article this morning.
Hmm.
So let's go ahead and talk about it.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just like uh, what's that player's name where he almost had a home run but still got it anyways.
You
I
just
opened a box of worms.
you open a
Box
can
of
of worms,
worms.
Baron.
Can of worms. Sorry, can of worms.
You open a can of worms
Well, they're in Japan. They had to have him get it. You know, it's like he's a hometown boy.
because he's Major League Baseball's golden boy. They're not gonna overrule
Yeah,
something that wasn't even a home run due to fan interference. I don't know if you
yeah.
watched the video, Baron, but
No, I have not
it
seen it, but I heard you guys talk about
I mean I can bring it up, but
it. Well, see, remember, baseball's darling boy was in the home of his darling boy country. Of course, you know it's like
I know, I
double
know,
indemnity
I
there.
know.
It's like they had to let him
I
have
know,
it.
I know. Just like last year with the gambling and betting,
Yep.
it was his interpreter that took the hit. But
Hmm. Yeah,
I
I'm still
don't.
suspicious.
Yeah,
I'm still suspicious,
yeah.
and
Eh,
that's what those guys are
eh,
for. They're supposed to fall on their sword for their master.
mhm. And I'm not surprised. Major League Baseball is trying to protect him, and other sports leagues try to protect their star players too, because they're the ones that are bringing in the fans.
Hmm.
But that quote unquote home run, yeah, I saw it. I'm all, well, I am not going to repeat what I said this morning, but
Well, is it in the chat? I can bring it up. I can say what you
mm,
said.
I didn't even put in the chat. I just said those effing umps at effing replay, bull effing
He was doing his best
cowpots.
chase. He was doing his best chase impersonation. That's what he was doing.
Yeah, that I saw it, and I'm all, no, that's a double at least, but no. Fan reaches out, touches the ball. Oh, home run! Yeah, well then, if that's a home run, you better go back and reverse every fan interference call to a home run at every other game from last year all the way back to the beginning of the league.
Hmm.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
Mark says these woke weirdos want to scream about how much everyone in the U.S. are colonizers, and yet they want to impose their colonist beliefs on the Japanese and all of Asia as a whole that don't conform.
Well, let's not forget another thing too. Japan was colonizer as well. That's why you have strife between them, China, and Korea.
Yeah.
I mean, just talk to someone from South Korea because we can't talk to anybody in North Korea. But I'm sure they even get an even higher ration of uh, hate teaching about Japan. But uh, they're colonizing is quote unquote colonizing is not just a white person thing, folks. It's everybody. Everybody colonizes.
Every country has done it at some point or another.
Right. I mean, like I said, South Korea and Japan still have tensions between them because of the past. World War II didn't help matters much, by the way.
No.
And the same with China. Sorry, I said it wrong. China. I don't do it quite as well. But, again, they have,
China.
yeah,
It's China.
yeah. And they, even them in Japan still have strife to this day because of, well, again, World War II, but even before that. Um, but we don't know about that because people don't teach about that or tell us about it. Again. Well, we're only told one thing all the time. We're not given uh, a full thing of the ills of the world. But then again, we're also not given the full thing about the goods of the world that people have
Hmm.
done. So everyone wants to go with the negative, and they want to damn those they should be praising, and praising those they should damn. Let's just put it that way.
Hmm. It's messed up, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And DJ, yeah, there aren't enough space colonies. We should
Come
have a
on, get to
colony
work.
on the moon, man.
Come on, DJ, you can do it.
And then Jet Sparks and DJ are talking about the lunar eclipse.
Oh yeah, yeah. Gotta wait till
And
2029 now.
DJ says he was able to see it up until the clouds got too thick for a 4 second. Oh, come on, Evie Mugs. All
Oh, that's
right.
because your little steam elements decided they wanted to talk.
4 second exposure. Yeah. Yeah, I missed it, unfortunately.
I forgot about it, to be honest. I probably could have seen it. I wasn't sleeping good during that time because of being sick. It's like, maybe that would have made me feel good. Or turn me into a werewolf, one of the two.
Yeah. And Jet Sparks says exactly, or some people want to say they're expansionists, or of course they want to conduct special operations and hopefully be seen as liberators.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we did liberate France during World War II.
Biggest mistake ever.
By the way, we're keeping the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, also, please make note the little French pisson. He's not in the French government. He's in the EU government.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, it's like I guess we can reel back a little
We
bit
can
on
ignore
France
him.
in
We
this
can
time.
ignore him.
Well, he's a nothing. He's on
Yeah, that's
names for
what.
crying out loud. He's such a coward. He can't even say have his name out there.
And let's see what Jet Sparks is saying real quick before we move on to our next article.
Hmm.
That's the whole thing. These people believe anyone outside of anyone who is white all lived in harmony with each other. Stupid revisionist history.
Yeah,
Some people choose to ignore history, and that's a damn shame. But here we
yeah,
go with our next article. All
yeah. I'm
right,
not a fan
so
of it.
we have this article from Bounding into Comics. It's by Spencer Bakuli. And it says Ubisoft will reportedly take legal action against critics who harass Assassin's Creed Shadow devs. Post release, there's a team in place to monitor networks and act swiftly in the event of a targeted attack. What
Yeah.
happened to the days of open criticism?
Well, we talked briefly about it before the show, but I'm sure we'll bring it up in this article. But I hope they got enough lawyers for Japan
They better.
because I was thinking, feeling there's going to be Japanese gamers over there, and then some who are really going to be calling names and letting their opinions be known. Oh, well,
Yep.
they already have been, to be honest.
And you can't blame them. I mean, we just read an article where the government's saying, Okay, can we threaten legal action against them?
Hmm.
According to a new report, in anticipation of the cavalcade of criticism that will undoubtedly meet Assassin's Creed Shadows upon release, Ubisoft is apparently prepared to take direct legal action against any and everyone whose criticisms exceed negative reviews, mockery, and cross the line into full blown harassment.
Mockery? This nation was built on mockery. I'm not kidding.
It says word of the French developers forward facing legal plans was first made public courtesy of a March 16th report from Melinda Devin Solis, as published by French news outlet BFM Tech and Co.
The French. It always has to be the French.
Speaking to members of the game's specific Ubisoft Quebec development team ahead of the upcoming 2025 Games Developer Conference regarding the game's development, Devin Solis learned that the Assassin's Creed Shadow team was not only aware of just how crucial the game's performance was to the company's survival, but had supposedly taken this pressure to heart during the recent delay period. The game performs moderately. Moderately? You mean that's all you can get out of it with the delay is moderately? I don't want it to perform moderately. I want it to perform exceptionally well.
Right.
If the game performs moderately, we're really in trouble. You should always want your games to perform exceptionally well, but
Right.
moderately, said one anonymous employee, if Shadow sells very well, we'll be able to start breathing a sigh of relief. The
Don't start
team's
yet.
nope, nope, too soon, too soon.
Mhm.
You haven't reached that 27th out yet. Still too early in the game. The team's crunch like never before to finish it, added another. They really needed that extra month. There are seniors who worked every day to complete it. Oh, I was gonna make a joke there.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm still gonna make it. Okay, how do you create this polygon? What's our early bird special? I'm sorry. I'm gonna go to hell. I know.
Yeah. Yeah. Already there. It's not too bad. They have a good buffet.
It was pretty crazy. To this end, one Ubisoft Quebec employee told Davin Solis that the team was rather optimistic about Assassin's Creed Shadow's potential sales success thanks to its pre order numbers, which are supposedly neck and neck with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, but remain below those for the franchise's best selling entry, Valhalla.
So they say. Go back.
Already, if it sells like Odyssey, which is the second best selling game of all time, we'll be happy, said the insider. Further, Davin Solis noted that one of her contacts confirmed that there does exist a fear among Ubisoft employees that Sucker Punch's upcoming Ghost of Utah or UT, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, which shares a feudal Japanese setting with shadows, could outperform Yazuki and Noi's adventure, both culturally and financially, in the long term. However, no clarification as to how extreme this fear is, as in, was this a genuine true keep them up at night? Excuse me, sorry about that. Keep them up at night worry, or a simple "we want to beat the competition" sentiment was provided by either the insiders or Davin Solis. I bet it was more "we want to beat the competition." Let's keep them up all night and beat them.
Mm.
On the topic of the game's reception, one employee then revealed that in light of the highly critical environment it would be releasing to, Ubisoft leadership was taking concrete steps to protect their workers from undue harassment by shadows, or more fervent critics. We are advised not to post on social networks that we work at Ubisoft to avoid harassment, said one individual. But more than just a simple walk away from the screen recommendation, the company has also reportedly moved to adopt a concrete anti harassment plan specifically aimed at shielding employees from online attacks. Well, they better be ready. They better
Yeah.
be ready to hear a lot of criticism because, well, let's say, for example, somebody's streaming the game and they run into a part of the game that really upsets the player, and the
Right.
player goes on a rant. What are they going to do?
Oh, they're gonna hunt him down. They're gonna be like the British police and fly over the pond and arrest the person that put that mean tweet out there, even though they're American and outside of their jurisdiction.
Mhm.
I mean, as it says, it's initiative from Canada. Of course, that's enough right there to answer your question. The other one too about keeping them up at night is keeping up at night because they know they got a failure. They're scared. This is this right here. What we're hearing is 100% fear. They are afraid, and they already have their little bruised egos going on, and they're not able to handle criticism. They just wanted to go out there, pull their crap off, and think their shit doesn't stink. And then everyone's gonna think, gonna buy it and think it smells like roses. It's not, and people are gonna criticize. They find criticism in a personal attack. They cannot differentiate because of their self esteem movement garbage. My feelings. Well, being critiqued has nothing. Well, it says screw you to your feelings. It's giving what needs to be said, not what you want to
Mhm.
be said. And actually, what you want to be said should is basically what should be is what you should want to hear is the truth, so it could improve. They don't want that. They think they're on the top of their game. They're egotistical. They're so
Mhm.
full of themselves. Meanwhile, they can't see the forest for the trees. Things leading up to it, when people were criticizing what they've been being told was going to happen in this game, should be enough. And the previous article right there should have told them right there, you have gone over the line.
Mhm.
How many people in Japan that maybe had a pre-order canceled it?
Yeah.
How many people have canceled it? I mean, they were saying all this. Of course, was those pre-orders you're talking about before or after the cancellations?
True. True. Because it really, know, makes me think that. Let me try to say this where it makes any sense. But we don't have the data for the pre-orders of what they were before people started finding out things about the game. So it'd be interesting to know what that data was, how many pre-orders were made prior to information about the game being leaked excuse me, being leaked out to what the pre-order numbers were after say cancellations and maybe a few pre-orders because people want to pre-order it and play it because it's going to be the new game and if you're a streamer, of course there are going to be some streamers who are going to want to stream the game on day 1.
Oh yeah, don't blame them.
Yeah.
Well,
But you talk about criticism, Baron.
hmm
You and I and a lot of other people have had our yearly evaluations at work,
hmm
and usually in a yearly evaluation at work, it has your strengths
yep,
and your weaknesses.
hmm and for me, my pink slip.
Excuse me. And you're usually with a supervisor who
hmm
will go over the yearly evaluation, and if there's something you disagree
hmm
with on the yearly evaluation, they give you your time to say your piece.
Right.
Why you did say you saw something in the weaknesses section that you don't agree with.
hmm
So you say your piece. You say it in such a way where you don't get fired, of course.
That's where I failed.
But as somebody who has purchased games, recently purchased Rise of the Ronin. Yeah,
Mhm,
I know I seem to be pushing Rise of the Ronin, but I'm having fun with that game. But
mhm,
when you're playing a game, when you're watching a movie, even if you're buying a new car, for example, you're gonna say what you like about it. You're gonna say what you don't like about it. You may have looked at this new car and thought, yeah, this is the car. And then maybe, after test driving it, you realize, no, this isn't the car. Or you may have purchased the car and thought, no, this isn't the car I thought it was going to be after a week, but it's too late now because you've already driven it off the lot. So it's already lost value.
mhm. Well, yeah, I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous. Criticism is an important thing. Um, they poisoned their own well. One of the smartest things they could have done is tell their people to shut up and not go out there on
Hmm.
social media, because that's usually what happens with the most damaging things. Look at other projects where people were involved with it, went out there and started shooting their mouth off on BS, and it hurt their product. At least they're
Yeah.
smart enough to realize that. Now they got to learn to start reading the room better and actually put something that people want, and realize that yeah, we don't mind historical events being twisted a little bit for fantasy. Again, like I said, uh, there are certain things you can do that you can change that's forgivable because it's a game, is fantasy, especially if you're being respectful for it. But
Hmm.
no, we already saw the disrespect again with the previous article, and of course, just the whole nature of the game of taking that legend, and obviously a legend that many out there in Japan know well, that people are not even involved with gaming, because it's a cultural thing, folklore, legend, all that. And we also have to remember that many people who buy these games that go out there and play this, they don't necessarily have their thumb on the pulse like we do. Their attitude, oh, there's a new game, I want to play it. They don't really necessarily watch YouTubers doing it or people talking or discussing it. It's like they come along and, oh, shiny thing, buy it, and they go home. And
Hmm.
then, later on they find out, oh, it's Duke Nukem Forever. Damn it. You know,
Well, I was
uh,
excited about that game too, Baron, and then
yeah,
like
yeah,
you, I played it. And I went, oh, well,
shite. Yeah. And,
correct.
yeah. I mean, I think, but only a small minority of gamers are actually like we are out there, where we're banging the drum and and talking about this stuff. That's why when these hit the mainstream media, that's when I perk up a little bit more, because it's
Hmm.
like, oh, it went outside of our bubble, thank God. But it's going to be interesting to see how they talk about it. And we've been starting to get a little bit more and more of that, because I think they're realizing the culture war is very much on this front.
Yeah.
Maybe in many more ways than a lot of the other places. And with how many people play video games and they figure, well, we can push our messages through there. A lot of people are idiots. They don't realize what we're doing. Ha ha ha. Or they'll listen to Frosk and Cesspool doing his seal
Yeah, but
clap.
they're not even on the air anymore. So
Yeah, they're
they
not on,
did them.
but no, but somebody like
They
that.
did their own chilling.
Yeah. Oh, they burn themselves. Yeah. But I'm just saying, I'm talking about somebody like that, right? And one of the useful tool idiots that they have out there, like Will Wheaton out
Well,
there.
Wheaton.
Yeah. With those soy arms. And the thing is uh they'll get it. They don't know the culture. They think this is all neat and all whatever. They might have that ID4 syndrome. It's like, hey, I get to destroy this shrine, yay. um you know and those are the ones that give us gamers a bad name sometimes. Not us, because we always talk about respect. We're always talking about respect for what you're trying to present, respect for the people who you're bringing the game out to. That
Hmm.
don't you dare sit back and whine that we demand this, because, excuse me, that's basically what you've been promising, and we're just holding your feet to the fire. And then you start it's like George R. R. Floppy Wiener Martin out there bitching and moaning when people sit back and criticize him for not getting that last book. And he says, I'm not obligated to you. Bitch, please, you went out there and been promising how long, and now you just been sitting on your laurels and raking in money from HBO? That's all you care about.
Yep, that is
So,
all he cares about is making sure that he gets that television series money.
right. So, yeah, we love and we respect this. And they don't realize that. And that these mean something to us. And especially with Japan, I'd like to really honestly, I'd like to get a little bit more of a pulse on the Japanese side of this whole thing in the news.
Hmm.
I haven't
Hear
really seen
hear what the
anything on the
locals
NHK.
have to say about it. And
Yeah, exactly. NHK really doesn't touch on that. It would be great if they would, um, but yeah, I tell you over there, it's got to be interesting. I just wish I knew
mhm.
Japanese.
I wish I could speak it and understand it without an
Mhm.
interpreter.
Yeah, that's more important. Yeah, if I can at least understand what you're seeing, or if they able to have subtitles in the stuff they're doing, because sometimes you get those live as they're going along. But
Mhm.
no, it's no Ubisoft. Uh, okay, let's just start it off. Ubisoft, you're a bunch of twat waffles. You're morons. You're buffoons. You can find your a hole with both hands in the flashlight. There, call your lawyers. I'm ready for you.
Well, I don't think you're going to be playing the game there, and I just don't see you
No,
playing it.
nah, I'm not gonna play it. Actually, I've never played a Assassin's Creed game. Be honest with you, my
I
daughters have, but I haven't.
I bought the first one, and I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah, I watch people playing it, especially my kids, and it's like, yeah, it looks neat. It really does, but it's not my thing.
And I just couldn't get into it at the time I bought it. So
Hmm.
one of my friends at work was saying he would love to play the first game. I said, "Well, I have it. You can have it, the game because I'm not playing it." He said,
Yeah.
"You sure?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Consider it a gift."
Huh. Friend for life, friend.
So the article continues by saying it's an initiative from Canada. Explain a representative from Ubisoft Quebec's Work Council, a primarily European concept. These groups exist to facilitate communication between a given company's leadership and their workforce. There's a team that monitors the networks and acts quickly in the event of a targeted attack. Contrary to what we've had until now, this is serious business, the representative asserted. While neither the representative nor any of her insider sources went on the record regarding the exact mechanics of the anti harassment plan, according to a recap provided by Devin Solis, messages posted by internet users on X, Reddit, or even videos on YouTube will be closely monitored by a dedicated unit in order to react promptly to the slightest problem. Lawyers are already on hand to lodge complaints in the event of proven harassment.
In Canada, this is why you get tariffs. You're more freaking worried about this than the people coming over the border from the north, which I've said before has been a problem as well as the south. The drugs, the criminals that are coming in from Canada. Oh, you're more which is one of the reasons why we have these tariffs. You're more upset about this because of my feelings than actual real problems out there. Canada, and I know I'm not talking about Canadians. I'm talking about the government, which pretty much is basically Quebec. And when I'm saying Canada, I mean Quebec because that's the shithole that is coming out of. And it's been the plague of Canada for all these years. Uh, honestly, honestly, the French. French Canadians, you can all bugger off. I'll deal with regular Canadians any day. They got their head on straight, and they don't like Quebec because they're getting screwed over. You basically have one province that basically rules the whole entire country. Truth. Canada. Quebec, I should say. Did I lose you, Mike? Oh, I. Oh. Mike's been having a little issue with his microphone lately, folks. So just to let you know, either that or I was just a little too intense on that one. But yeah, I mean, I know what you mean there about Canada sucks. I mean, I'm not going to go so far to say that I've dealt with. Yeah. Evie Mux is having fun with Mike right now. But of course, in the chat, if you guys have anything more to say about this, it'd be interesting to bring up on it. Uh, I mean, what do you think about that? You're going to have some people outside of this country, because this is coming in from, of course, Quebec. This is coming from France, and you, as an American, obviously somebody like Fat Stevens or, uh, you know, or any of our other Canadian friends up there that game and discuss this stuff. Well, they're within their legal boundaries. But say you're here and you want to, you go out there and you put a video out there, and all of a sudden you get these summons that you're going to be taken to court because you dare criticize what they did, and you even named one of the people because you found out one of the story writers of the group, and you're criticizing them for not knowing history, and they decide they want to sue you. Excuse me, we're not in Canada. We're in the United States. At least until you're part of the United States. No, 51st state. I'm kidding with that, by the way. Uh, it's ridiculous to think that they can threaten and try to scare us here in the United States and in other countries for that matter. What are they going to do about Japanese, right? I'm sure they have their katanas all nice and ready to go out there and chop this thing to bits and criticize heavily, because again, this is coming to home for them. This is them. This is their stuff. They don't want their culture made fun of. That's what they're viewing this as: disrespect, making fun of. Uh, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of things to say, and when they know that there's people involved with it, because, well, there's going to be the list of the developers on the game itself. They like to put their credits on there. And they find out who did certain ones, and they'll criticize them. And boom, boom, boom. Oh, we are the Canadian police. Well, I'm here to slap you across the face and give you the summons. Ubisoft, when you do things like this, it only shows how weak you are, how weak your arguments are, and the fact that you know that everything that people have been saying is not only true, but maybe we don't even know half of it, of the garbage you did. You want to make video games? This is not how you make video games. This is why indies are starting to grow bigger and bigger. And they don't necessarily even have big, complex games, but they're becoming very popular. Police Simulator, Contraband Police, amongst others out there. Very simple games, not necessarily huge graphic monsters, but being made in countries like Finland or Sweden or Germany as indies, and people who play them. Yeah, you're not getting Call of Duty, but not all games need to be Call of Duty, right? Right. And they're being heavily praised for it. Then you take a look at something like Space Marine 2, which of course, bigger studio, bigger budget, bigger explosions. But even though we were told, I mean, I haven't gone through the story mode yet, so I can't make any comments on that. I've been playing a lot of the PvP stuff that they have, or team modes, which is just absolutely friggin' fun. And they have what it is to be in the world of 40K. Just like Dark Tide has that feel of you being a schlub in these hive cities. They know what they're doing. They know the material. They respect the material. They put that material out there. And a tale of two worlds, the morons and them. But of course, sadly, Mike is not with us. He's still working on the problem, folks. So I can probably actually, do I have here? I want to bring up something here. I don't know if Mike has, but since I've been given this curveball of basically life, don't talk to me about life. Brain the size of a planet, and all that. I don't want settings, you piece of garbage. Where is? Oh, there's my share screen. So let's bring this up, boys and girls, because actually I got a big of a pretty big chuckle. This is from the Daily Star. This was datelined on St. Patrick's Day. Yes, the day of the green beer. And this is written by Jerry Lawton and Abigail Hunt. So let's have a little bit of a change of pace here, folks. We have Disney faces pint-sized protest from angry little people in Snow White backlash. A lot of angry people are holding a pint-sized protest over Disney's decision to scrap dwarves from the new Snow White movie set to be released on Friday. So, hey, look, it's our hairy-backed Snow White. Mm-hmm. Disney chiefs are being confronted by a lot of angry little people and a pint-sized protest over the decision to ditch dwarves from the new Snow White movie. Hundreds of Hollywood's smallest stars will descend on the film giant's HQ this week to complain at the move to deploy computer-generated cartoons as many men instead of the real thing. Little movies around the world can say the decision has robbed 7 dwarf actors of major roles in the new £208 million blockbuster. Remember, this is English, so I'll let you do the translation. The prices. While one dwarf has been cast in the film, George Appleby, that hasn't stopped planned protest over the use of CGI, and they have vowed they are not going down quietly. Jordana James, 36, who is 3 foot 11 inches, and was a backup dancer for Miley Cyrus's Bangers tour, said Hollywood is trying to erase us. Everyone goes on about wokeism and inclusion, and yet we are constantly overlooked and kept in the shadows. It's hard enough to go out in the real world and be seen. We exist. Let us have the same opportunities as other people's. Hey, Lester, San Jose, the Skeptic Tank, welcome. And yeah, that's going to be one of the things I will touch upon on that. We're on the same wavelength. Actress Ollie Chapman, 50, who is 3 foot 8 inches, said the whole point of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is right up there in the title. The Seven Dwarfs were the stars of the original 1937 film, which is a classic loved by millions of people. Disney has made a live action film, and instead of giving us 7 talented little people the chance to shine, they scrapped us completely and used CGI instead. And there's the lovely Jordana James right there. If you flipped it and said, "Oh, all black or all white actors should be replaced by CGI," there would be an outcry. But because we're little people, no one cares. I'd like to be seen for who I am. It would be nice to be considered for more than just leprechauns and elf roles. I want to be more than a hobbit. It's a total travesty, and there are a lot of angry little people actors and actresses out there. People are flying in from all over the world to tell Disney this is not acceptable. Allie's husband, Matt McCarthy, 49, who's 4'1", and dreamed of playing Dopey. Hey, I'm Dopey, okay? I might not be a dwarf, but I'm Dopey. Can you imagine that being your goal? I want to play Dopey, but that would be a fun role. I'm more cranky, grumpy, whatever. Said we've been totally shut out, but we're not going to take going down quietly. It's hard enough in Hollywood. Everyone's trying to make their dreams come true. When you wish upon a star. When you're a little person, opportunities are few and far between. I was born to play Dopey the Dwarf. I don't know if I'd go out there and say that too loudly. I was born to play Dopey. That's It's my dream role, but Disney never gave me a chance. There were 7 great parts right there, but Disney decided to go with freaking cartoons. Shame on them. Well, I think we're going to be getting the Million Little Man March going on. See what I did there? Yeah, yeah. The protest has been masterminded by Hollywood entertainment pioneer Jeff Beecher, whose Madhouse theaters in Las Vegas and Los Angeles were the first to celebrate little people. The clubs attached a huge fan base. Oh, attracted my fault. I gotta learn how to read, folks. The clubs attracted a huge fan base, including A-lister celebrities Paris Hilton, George Clooney, and Leonardo DiCaprio. Beecher said he believes the demo outside Disney's Burbank studio gates in California is do or die time for actors. He says that the writing was on the wall after 2023's film Wonka cast 5'11" Brit star Hugh Grant as a tiny Oompa Loompa. Well, didn't they also have? Oh, that was Wonka. Okay, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I believe, though had Deep Roy, very famous little actor. Grant was digitally multiplied more than 100 times to create a sea of green-haired Oompa Loompas in the movie, a prequel to 1971's classic Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, starring Gene Wilder. I thought it was a prequel to the Johnny Depp. Who knows? Who knows? Who cares? Beatrice raged. It's a disgrace. Snow White isn't the first time people have been overlooked. If Hollywood is about inclusion and diversity, then you could have had talented little people actors in all these roles. This is a moment in history. Equity is a movement, but when it comes to little people, no one in Hollywood is representing them. This was a beautiful opportunity to hire 7 diverse, highly talented little people, actors and actresses in Hollywood, failed. The dwarf demo could spell disaster for the new musical fantasy movie, which opens on Friday, starring Rachel Ziegler, 23, as Snow White, and Gal Gadot, Hamana Hamana, 39, as the evil queen. I'm sorry, if I was the mirror, no why after all. Evil Queen, you're the fairest of them all. A senior Disney exec said scores of placards waving little people protesting outside the studio gates would be a total PR disaster. That is just too depressing to imagine. We can't wait for this week to be over, they added. Oh, straight to the top with Disney execs. But of course, Lester, the skeptic tank, was absolutely right on that. One of the people you could blame on this is, and ever shall be, Peter Dinklage. Dink, 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 dink. Why? Because he was out there complaining about that. He was calling them going out and doing this and looking for getting little people actors, dwarves and midgets, because those are the actual legitimate names. One has the torso, a normal torso with the small arms and small legs. The other one is the whole body is proportional. So there's different degrees of being a little person. But he was complaining about that and even shaming Disney over the fact of that. And I think we need to also remember too that originally they weren't going to have dwarves. Remember those photos coming out? And it was basically Snow White and the Seven Murder Hobos. At
It
least
didn't
that's
look
what it
good,
looked like.
that's for sure.
No. And because of that backlash, that's when they turned around and did the crappy animation of the dwarves, the
Well,
CGI dwarves.
it's a rush job. You
Yeah.
can tell it's a rush job.
Well, we all, yeah, everyone, yeah, anyone who has half a brain knows that. Yeah. I
And
have a quarter of a
I,
brain. I didn't know that.
I know you've probably already said hello to Lester and Daddy Man
What?
Walking,
No, I have not
but
said hi to Dead Man Walking. He just staggered in, and when I was in the middle of my passionate reading of the story. But hey, Dad Man Walking.
I do want to say hello to Lester. Good to see you, brother.
Hmm.
And also Daddy Man Walking. Good to see you as well. Hope you're both doing well
Hmm.
today.
Right. So little Peter Dinky, and forgive me, I went to. I can't remember if this story was on there or not, but I just decided to run with it while you're playing hide and seek with me. Uh,
No,
uh,
because I didn't
mhm,
know how long we were going to be on certain articles
right.
while
Yeah.
we were on
I,
both YouTube and Rumbles. So I was
I,
trying to be careful of how
mhm,
many articles I selected. And
mhm. Yeah, I had this one. I had this already still up on when from this morning when I was putting stories in. So I figured, oh, it's quick and easy to click on this one. And besides, it gives me a chance to mock Peter Dinklage, like we're going to be doing later on in this broadcast, one way or another. But yeah, I mean, Peter Dinklage was complaining about it, saying, how dare you do that? That's bigotry or whatnot. I think he even said it was racist, which is absolutely ridiculous. I didn't realize being a little person was a race. Um, but he was out there storming around like the little dink that he was. So Disney did the murder hobo thing, and now, boom, that didn't work over. Now we got CGI dwarves, and now you got a bunch of rightly so angry. But these people, I'm sounding like Cash now. These people have got to gang up on Peter Dinklage. He is one of the reasons why this happened to you.
mm-hmm.
He was one of your own that was shooting his little mouth off, no pun intended, uh, complaining about that and ruining your job because now Disney is afraid of hiring because, oh my God, we're going to offend the little people. So you guys, go out there, get the tar,
I,
get the little feathers, and make the littlest chicken there is out there.
I mean, imagine if they did a remake of The Wizard of Oz and everybody in Munchkin Land was CGI.
Right. Yeah. Heck. Well, I mean, what? At least Charlie and the chocolate, not Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, whatever one with Depp had in it. At least they took Deep Roy and multiplied him. I don't know why they didn't do that for Wonka. I didn't realize it was Hugh Grant in there because I guess they didn't really give a shit about the film. Uh, but
Oh, but
you know,
it did well. That
yeah.
film with Timothy Chalamet did well.
Hmm. But again, they could have brought Deep Roy back. He's still out
Yeah,
there. He's still working. I mean, he's one of the greats. I mean, he's been in so many things that you don't
he
even
was in the
realize.
Star Trek reboot movies.
Yep, he was in Flash Gordon. He was in Doctor Who. One of the most remembered stories, Talons of Wing Chang. I mean, this guy is. I think. I correct me if I'm wrong. He might even played a Jawa or something. I'm not even sure, but Deep
I
Roy,
I don't know offhand, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
and what a name, Deep Roy. That's his real name. That is not a stage name. That's something you expect out of the Triple X crowd to have for a name. Hey, I'm Deep Roy. How you doing, Nina Hartley? No, no, this is his real name. What a great name to have. Uh, and I'm not being sarcastic, but I mean, we had that film
I
back.
mean,
Chevy Chase and Carrie Fisher did back in the '80s, where they Under the Rainbow, where it was a
right,
comedical look at making of Gone with the Wind and the little people, the leprechaun, you know from Lilliput
well, not
or
only
whatever it
that,
was they did.
Baron, but I mean, Warwick Davis. You could have hired
Yeah,
him as one of the Seven Dwarves.
I would have put hands down that he would have been if they would have hired because he's a darling of Lucasfilm and Disney.
I would have hired him. You know who I would have him play? Doc.
Ooh, ooh, said, "Wow, wow, that's good. I like that. I like that." But I mean, yeah, that's just it. And we did have in the 80s, we did have little people out there performing, and yeah, they were the roles that they were in. Yeah, there were little people, but that wasn't the main fixation off of it. Of course, you had Time Bandits, right?
Hmm.
Which you run through there. It's like, oh, look, it's it's you could list off every one of them because they're either involved in Star Wars, Star Trek, all the above because of various different roles. But it wasn't the fact that there were little people that were in there. They all did a great job because why? They were very talented actors. You know, above and beyond. You have. I'm trying to remember the name of that show, The Wizard, or I can't remember, where the main star he was also in Time Bandits, and he was the star of the show where he's like a super intellectual, but it was nothing focusing on the fact that he was a little person. He just happened to be a little person.
Hmm.
And it only lasted one season, but it was a good show. It's a cult, it has a cult following. Unfortunately, the actor himself unalived himself because he was, a lot of issues, and which is sad because he was a great actor. He was the one with the monocle in Time Bandits,
Hmm.
and I have mental block on these things. But Kenny Baker was in there in Time Bandits as well. R2D2, Ewok, Jawa. Um, I can't remember the other one who played a Jawa in Ewok that was good friends with Kenny Baker. That was in that movie too. Unfortunately, unfortunately, he got in an accident where he got out of the car and the car wasn't in gear and it backed over him or something like that. He was
Hmm.
paralyzed and, of course, then passed away from all that. But I guess those two were really good friends. They had like a little vaudeville act that they did together. That'd be absolutely hysterical to see. But getting back on the topic a little bit more is we, especially in pop culture, science fiction, fantasy, we don't mind seeing little people in roles that are not typical for little people being in. You don't always have to be a leprechaun. You don't always have to be a dwarf or a hobbit.
Hmm.
In fact, Billy Barty, when they did the Lord of the Rings animated Ralph Bakshi, uh, Billy Barty was one of the body that they did the rotoscoping over, and he fought like hell for him and the I can't remember who it was that was working with him to get their names in the credit for doing that work because he said we are just as much acting in this as anybody else.
Yeah, because they had to do the motions. They had to,
Hmm.
show what it would look like for, you know, anybody, you
Hmm.
know, doing that kind of work. It needs to show what it would look like for the character to pick an item up,
Hmm.
and a 360 view and all that.
Right, exactly. So they were able to roller scope over that, and of course, Billy Barty. They're right there. Talk about the name of the king of the little people, and I'm not making that as sarcasm. It's like which one of us don't know who he is or seen him in something, whether it was Doctor Shrinker, whether it was the Silly Croft show. Of course, Under the Rainbow, he was in that as the German agent. Yeah, of course, Masters of the Universe. He was,
Hmm.
all across
Yeah,
the board. He was,
Wildor.
oh, yeah, he was in so many things. And why? He was talented. He happened to be a little person that was talented, but he sure did fight for little people.
Uh, you don't blame him.
No, I don't at all. I don't. No, no, no. And but what helps is he has had the talent to back it up. Rest his soul. I miss Billy Barty. He seemed so impish.
Mhm.
Again, that wasn't a short person joke. So okay, I might as well take the story down from my side. So I just want to hit that story while I waited to see if Evie Mux is going to play Hoyle with you or not.
Well, we'll see, but I've already made the determination after the Ninja Turtles watch party, we're
Oh
gonna use something else. I don't like it that when you're using Mux, that it will change your audio. You could be talking at one moment and then nobody hears you the next. And this has happened more than once. It's happened to you. It's happened
yeah.
to me. It's happened to Cash.
Hmm.
It's happened to Jace and a few other people when they've come on. So
Yeah. Hmm. I
And
don't know how.
the reason why I say after the Ninja Turtles watch party stream, it's because I've already scheduled that. So
Mhm.
we've got a few more editions of Pop Talk to
We'll make
deal
it.
with it. And yeah.
We'll make it. I think I Pops is using Evomox now, and I think he was having little issues with the same thing with the. I mean, he was. In fact, we do when we do we record a lot of his shows. Uh, you know, and he did one where his mic cut out completely while he was pre-recording with somebody else. The person he was with didn't tell him, uh, and kept talking and talking, and whatnot. And then he found out later that his mic cut off part way through that, and he had to go back and do it again. He was not happy about that.
No, and I don't blame him. I
Oh, I
really
don't
don't.
blame him either. No. So yeah, so we can chalk Pops on there too now. The
I
at
mean,
Pops.
I could have come back on here ranting and raving, but it's like, okay, it's happened before. What's the point of ranting and raving? If this is how it's gonna be, then I have to look for something else.
Yeah. You're like the superhero with the two buttons: rant or rave, or just accept it.
Well, I'm not even accepting it. It's like, okay, you
I
know
know.
what? I'll deal with it for the time we still have to deal with it, but after that,
Hmm.
no more.
I hope it cleans itself up. Let's just put it that way. I mean,
They
I
they
do
they,
like
need-
the
they
system. I
need
do
to,
like the system, but they need to fix stuff up.
yeah,
And
because it's not good for us. It's not good if we have a member stream on the channel and members can't speak, or if we have a special
right,
guest on the channel
right.
and either they can't hear us or we can't hear them.
Oh yeah, we're
'Cause
having issues with
we even had that
Maria.
problem with Maria.
Yeah, Maria. Yeah.
We couldn't even see her, but she was
Hmm.
backstage. But Evie Muggs was having one of its issues.
Right. I mean, the last thing you need to do is tell Evie Mux, "Hey, we're having this problem that we."
No, they're ignorant. That's ignorant.
No, I mean, really, honestly, that's the last we need them to do it for us.
Yeah.
Oh, for a minute there, I thought I lost you again.
Oh no, I just waited for you to say what you need to say and also the clip to play. But
Mhm.
we're gonna go ahead and move on to our next article, which is related to our first trailer that we're gonna be watching over on the Cosme side.
Woo,
Why?
Cosby!
Why the Cosme side? Because if we watch it on Cosme, we don't have to worry about any copyright claims or strikes over on the YouTube side.
Yeah,
That's
screw
why.
you, YouTube.
So here we go. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right.
They like that idea, man.
We've got this article from Cosmic Book News. And as you can see by the headline, it says Netflix drops Happy Gilmore 2 trailer. Excuse me. Announces July 25th release date.
Mm.
With all this weather change, I know you've been experiencing it in Minnesota, Bear, and we've been experiencing it here, where you have maybe a day or two where it's in the upper 60s, lower 70s, and then it goes back to the 40s and 30s.
Yo, yeah.
Excuse me.
Well, we haven't
Yeah.
gotten up to 70 yet, but yeah, yeah.
It'll come. It'll come.
Oh, I
But
know it will. We'll get
th-
to that hot, humid underwear stick to the crack of your ass weather soon enough.
yeah. But this article was posted yesterday, and it says Netflix drops Happy Gilmore 2 trailer, announces July 25th release date. And this article is by Patrick Scanlon.
Mm.
And it says Netflix has released the Happy Gilmore 2 trailer and officially announced the release date with, excuse me, sorry, with Adam Sandler back as the hard swing golfer. The sequel hits the streaming service on July 25th and brings together original cast members and a new lineup of stars. says watch the trailer below, but we'll watch it in EVMux. The EVMux link is pinned to the top of the chat on YouTube and Rumble. I will
I'm joining.
provide the EVMux link to those of you who might be watching on X. And if I
Come
need to
join us.
post a new link, just let me know and I will do that.
Come visit us.
Oh, hold on. All right, there we go. Okay, so it says Sandler returns alongside familiar faces. Happy Gilmore 2 sees Sandler reunite with Julie Bowen, Christopher McDonald, Lieutenant Castile on yesterday's Enterprise, and Ben Stiller, all of whom appeared in the first film. Also joining are Sadie and Sonny Sandler, Blake Clark, and music star Bad Bunny, Benito Antonio Martinez, Ocasio.
Never heard of him.
The film will also include Travis Kelce, Connor Sherry. I'm surprised Taylor Swift's not in it, with Travis Kelce being in it.
Oh, she no. She wouldn't. She would not sink low enough to be on a in a Sandler film. That's beneath her.
Connor Sherry, Ethan Kotowski, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. He's a professional wrestler, in case anybody doesn't know. He wrestles for AEW.
I didn't know until now. I'm not kidding.
And Philip Fine Schneider in new roles. Pro golfers join the cast. They're John Daly, Paige Springyak, Roy McIlroy, sorry, Scotty Schiefer, Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Kopech, Justin Thomas, and Will Zalatros.
What? He couldn't get Bob Barker and Carl Weathers back?
Maybe CGI Bob Barker and Carl Weathers, but not
Yeah, I
not the
don't know.
genuine articles.
Not the Gene Miracles, unfortunately. It would have been great to see Carl Weathers out there playing kind of an Obi-Wan like ghost.
Mm-hmm.
I love that man.
Come
It
on,
hurt me.
Happy. Let me rest. No, I need your help.
His
Happy, I
death
need your
smell was
help.
good.
And Pet I Wannabe says that the Kelsey brothers love Adam Sandler. I saw their podcast with Adam as a guest. Okay. Says creative behind the sequel, Sandler isn't the only one returning. Sorry. Sandler isn't the only one returning. Original co-writer Tim Hur- Hur- Hurley? I'm just going to say Hurley. I'm probably saying it wrong, and I apologize about that. Is back to write Happy Gilmore 2. The first film's director, Dennis Dugan, is an executive producer. Longtime Sandler collaborators Jack Durapato and Robert Simons are producing. Kyle Nowacek, who worked with Sandler on Murder Mystery, is directing. And it says where the first film left off. The original Happy Gilmore ended with Happy defeating Shooter McGavin and saving his grandmother's house after a chaotic golf season. He went from a failed hockey player to an unlikely golf hero with help from characters like Chubbs, Peterson, Carl Weathers, and his loyal caddy Alan Covert. While plot details for the sequel are still under wraps, Happy Gilmore 2 looks to revisit that energy with a new story and modern setting.
Well,
Release
they have to.
yeah. Happy Gilmore 2 premieres July 25th on Netflix. Expect more
Oh,
updates as Netflix pushes toward the summer release. The film promises a mix of nostalgia, celebrity cameos, and Sandler back in one of his most iconic roles. And like I said earlier, I have the Cosme link pinned to the top of the chat over on YouTube and Rumble. And for
yep.
those of you on X, I just posted it in the chat there. So if you want to see that trailer for Happy Gilmore 2, and then we'll also watch the trailer for Toxic Avenger that was today, and head over to Cosme.
I'm there. Come on, the water's fine.
Wannabe is over there with Baron and myself. Come on, everybody.
Hmm. Just don't leave us here alone with Battle Wannabe. Come on,
And,
DJ, come on,
and,
get
and
over here.
again, the reason why I'm doing it over on Cosme, so I don't have to keep pausing it every 10 seconds or so
And
over on
still get
YouTube.
synced.
Yeah, yeah, that too. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the trailer for Happy Gilmore 2 here in just a few seconds. Just make sure I have the right one. All right, this is the right one here. Okay, so here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, you got the XXX parody. Cool. SpongeBob. Mhm. Oh yeah. Ah,
Oh
Phil, Phil
God,
McCracken. Oh,
no, not Phil.
Joey.
I know. They're saving Shooter. They want you to actually watch the movie to see
Hmm.
Shooter.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, fascinating that this is a Netflix original.
Yeah, and it's not a theatrical release.
Yeah, maybe maybe that's the best way to go.
Maybe.
What's this?
No, if it's gonna play another one, I don't want it to play it, so I'm just gonna
I didn't.
do
Yeah,
this.
I saw Jack Black and Harry back. Snow White.
Yeah, I, I I don't have high hopes for that Minecraft movie, and it
Mm,
is going to be interesting to see what the weekend box office is going to be for Snow White.
mm.
I mean, from what I've seen, not too many theaters are selling out right now, and for good
No,
reason.
no, I've been seeing that on the old X there. Going around. Yeah.
Hmm.
But Padawaнаbe's looking forward to. He says to Snow White. So each their
But
own.
you know what we can do. What day is the 25th? It's probably a Friday. That's usually when Netflix likes to premiere stuff. But I'll tell you what we can do, folks.
Uh oh. Uh oh.
On
What
Sunday,
am I?
the 27th, and I'll write myself a note. We can watch Happy Gilmore 2 for a watch party.
No.
W-
You hear that, folks? Mike is magnanimous.
We can do that. What do you all say?
My hands up.
All right.
Uh,
Padawannabe is for it.
well, yeah. Well, you're not invited, Pat. I want to be, so you might as well watch it when you can.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Yes. Oh,
Yes, he is.
okay. I guess you can join us.
Anyone who wants to join us on that Sunday can join us. Just let me know and I'll send you the invite.
Bring your own popcorn, though.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Very
not
nice.
providing popcorn. I'm not providing any drinks.
Hmm. I don't share my popcorn.
Bring your own popcorn. Bring your own drinks.
Hmm.
And I had said that that's not the only trailer that we're going to be taking a look at. We have one more to take a look at, and I
One
already told you
more.
my thoughts on it because when I saw it, it was like a train wreck to me. I couldn't look away, but I was also going, "What in the world is this?" So let me pull up this next trailer here for everybody.
That's right. I said, I ain't giving you no tree fitty, you goddamn Loch Ness monster. Get your own goddamn money. I gave him a
Let's see.
I should redo that so we have the full. I gave him $1 in it.
Yeah. And Padawannabe says, bring your own everything. Yeah, pretty much. Watch it
Yeah.
from home.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're not that nice.
All right, so here we go. The official trailer for Toxic
Yeah.
Avenger. This one came out today.
Oh,
They call it the official teaser, but whatever. I pray for you all. I'm going to pause it here. I wouldn't eat that.
No, 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 no. That doesn't look good.
I would not eat that. It's like, you're giving me this? No,
Right.
no. Even if it was the only thing I had to choose, I would not eat that. It's not appetizing.
Mm. What's
There's Jace.
mhm. Mm. You get?
Yeah. Oh boy. Oh boy. You see why I told you before the stream started, Baron? It's a movie we can rip apart.
Oh, I am so ready. I am so ready to do so. Oh God.
Lady Miss just got here. Let me bring it back up so she can see
Mm.
it.
Run
So
away,
I'm
lady
gonna
miss.
I'm gonna play it again.
Run.
So all right.
You don't want to see this.
Why isn't it saving in my history? Oh well. Let me bring it up so
While
you
he's
can
doing
see it.
that, and while he's doing that, I got this.
Hated it.
Now,
All right.
lady miss, you cannot blame us for any psychological damage that may happen to you. You came voluntarily. Back to you, Mike.
Let me first share it because I don't want to have a repeat of what happened one time before, where I was watching the trailer but I didn't share it on the Cosme side.
Yeah, that was funny.
All right, so let me get it up here. And there we go. Let me go to full screen.
Interesting search
All right.
history there.
Ha ha ha.
Is that like Matthews? Are you sure that wasn't Phil? Ah,
Yeah,
you know what?
yeah.
I hate to say this. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing it. I hate to say it. It looks so
It
ridiculous.
for you, it looks so bad it's good, or it's
Yeah,
so bad you can't look away. You want to see it so you can
both.
get the full experience and tear it apart if you need to.
Mm. Yeah, it looks so weird. I like the fact that one kid wears a helmet in there.
Yeah.
And I think that one guy is actually Phil McCracken.
I don't know. I thought we saw him in the Happy Gilmore 2 trailer.
Maybe. Yeah, yeah. That was it. Well, no, you said it wasn't. Probably Joey. Hey, Joey, Joey.
But yeah, that was the Happy Gilmore 2 trailer, and then also the Toxic Avenger trailer.
We're sorry.
But we do have one more article that we are going to get to before we head over to the Rumble side exclusively. So let's go ahead and get to it. All right, Baron,
Yo,
you've seen Starship Troopers from 1997.
yeah, I saw it in the theaters.
Yep.
Hmm.
And I saw Starship Troopers not in the theaters, but I did see it.
Hmm.
And I'm sure several other people have seen the original 97 film. I mean, there's still that debate, Dizzy or Carmen. I'm going Team Dizzy all the way.
Oh hell yeah! That shower scene with Dizzy is worth watching the film.
And not just that, if the shit hits the fan, she'll be right there with you.
Yeah, it just helps to know what you looks like without any clothes when you're having the shit hitting the fan. That's all.
Hmm.
Remember, she became Oracle and a Romulan.
Yes, Denatra
Hmm.
in Star Trek Nemesis.
Hmm. The at the time worst Star Trek film. Um, Now we got Jar Jar Abrams to thank for raising it up into pristine levels.
And Lady Miss has also seen Starship Troopers.
Actually,
Well,
had two sequels. People might not know that.
mhm.
Casper Van Dien was in the third one. He wasn't in the second one.
So, Starship Troopers reboot in the works from Neil Blomkamp. And this article is by Matt McGloin and was posted on Friday the 14th. And it says the Starship Troopers reboot is in the works from Neil Blomkamp and Sony Pictures, with Blomkamp writing and directing, who is known for Gran Turismo, Chappie Asylum, and District 9. Well, I like District 9, so maybe.
Hmm, yeah.
Maybe.
Hmm. That
I,
one
I'm,
Peter
I'm
Jackson
saying,
wasn't
I'm
involved
saying,
in.
I'm saying maybe. What is the Starship Troopers reboot about? No plot details are known, but Deadline says the new Starship Troopers movie will be closer to the source material. We had a conversation beforehand. Of what did I
Hmm.
say, Baron?
That's what you wanted, and that's what I want too.
Hmm. And I and
I
I,
mean,
to,
people. Hmm?
I told you I've never read the book, but I wanted to be closer to the source material.
Hey, all I can say is if you like Warhammer 40K and you love the Space Marines, then if they do this by the book, not to quote Star Trek, but I guess I am. Uh, this is where they got the inspiration for Space Marines from. Basically, one person battle tanks going out in the battle, and then being shot out in little projectiles from the ship individually. And as you're going
Well,
along,
like Helldivers does.
yeah, like Helldivers does. Except if I remember right, the thing it starts melting around you from the reentry until basically when you're done, it breaks apart, and then you parachute the rest of the way down.
Okay. It says no
There's just
plot
one book.
details.
There's one book. You didn't know
No
that,
plot.
Planet Wannabe? No,
One
look,
one glorious book from what I've heard.
it is a great book. Yeah, it's out there. I'm surprised you didn't know there was a book, Starship Troopers. Yeah, go look it up. It's a great book. It really is. There's a reason why it's held in high regards or low regards by some people. Uh, it's Highline doing his typical messing with you.
But it says no plot details are known, but Deadline says the new Starship Troopers movie will be closer to the source material of the original novel by Robert Heinlein than the 1997 Paul Verhoeven movie. Well,
Mhm.
if I recall, you told me, Baron, that Verhoeven had, read the book and decided he wasn't going to go buy the book.
No, he never even read the book.
Oh.
What happened was is Star Trek Trooper was actually going to be a different film completely, and then the studios decided, hey, I know, why don't we just because we got this stuff, right stuff with Highline, and we need to do something with it, so they tacked it onto there, and Paul Verhoeven really didn't give a shite because he wanted to do what he wanted for the movie, which was his little fascist dictatorship film. Of course, basically having the you might say what would you call the cliff notes, so at least you get it along the certain ways of how you want to have it.
Mhm.
But with that you miss such very he went so uh mono vision on that compared to the wider vision that Highline had. He is where Verhoeven really hit it out of the park with RoboCop. Well, it was a more original piece. Um, he was so myopic. He can it's like yeah, you would have gotten a lot more material if you gone by the book.
It says the Starship Troopers movie spawned two sequels released in 2004 and 2008, and two CGI animated films released in 2012 and 2017.
Oh, if they're going to do it accurate, I wonder what the skinnies will look like.
And it says, what are the differences between the Starship Troopers novel and movie? Starship Troopers novel is different than the movie in terms of themes and tone, the depiction of the military and government, the technology and warfare, the characters and development, and message and intention. In the novel, Juan Johnny Rico is a Filipino cadet, while in
Mhm.
the movie, Johnny Rico is reimagined as a white Argentine jock played by Casper Van Dien.
Yeah, isn't that amazing? You had a someone who wasn't someone from another country, South America, down in that area, and so what does Hollywood do? Well, they did that. It's like,
And DJ says the new audiobook narration is so good.
hmm.
And it's narrated by R.C. Bray. Let's see what else DJ's
No,
saying.
Rico's not Filipino. He is from Argentina, Buenos Aires to be exact. So I mean, they had that right. He was out of that area. Uh, but yeah, I don't want to give away too much of the book if you haven't read the book. But yeah, he was from South America.
Says the book also sees the mobile infantry wear exoskeleton suits equipped with jump jets, nukes, and advanced weaponry, while in the movie the soldiers are basically infantry with machine guns.
Yeah, the book
Re-
Rico. He was from down there, from Argentina.
All right, so it goes on to say regarding the message in the film, Paul Verhoeven's Federation resembles Nazi Germany, while in Robert Heinlein's book, the Terran Federation is not fascist but works on a volunteer based system where those who
Hmm.
serve can only earn citizenship. I,
Hmm.
I believe what maybe Matt actually meant was to serve can only in the military can only earn the citizenship. That's
Hmm.
what maybe he meant. I don't know. I don't know. I'm guessing here.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you're a citizen. You're a citizen, but you don't have voting rights unless you serve in the book.
Eh, yeah.
And I guess also, I guess you could say, I think they did that with the movie too. It's been a while since I've seen the movie.
I haven't watched it in a while.
Same here.
Uh, Unfortunately, my DVD copy no longer works.
Really? Huh?
Yeah,
You played it that much?
yeah, I did. That's all I'm going to say. The movie also portrays the military as incompetent, while the book portrays the military as more of a noble path. The movie also is more of a satire, while the book is seen as serious. Already, I'm liking it.
Hmm.
Military versus bugs could be the next Hollywood thing. Interestingly enough, a Helldivers movie is in the work also from Sony, which is based on Helldivers 2, which shares the same themes and is inspired by Starship Troopers. Well, why don't they drop the Helldivers 2 movie and just stick with the Starship Troopers? That's what I would
Oh
do.
my God, you're right. He has Filipino descent. But I thought he was in Buenos Aires, so. But okay, I was wrong. It's been a while. I have to read the book again. It's a great book. You're right. I was wrong, DK.
All right. And let me just,
Well, I mean, all Helldivers is making fun of Starship Troopers.
yeah, yeah. I mean, even with that opening intro of the game,
Hmm. Right.
it goes on to say Marvel was also developing a Nova series, which was said to have adapted the Annihilation event from the comics, which pits the Nova Corps versus Bugs from the Negative Zone. And it says typically what happens in Hollywood is when word of one particular theme of a movie starts to get traction, everybody plays follow the leader. Well, Hollywood's always done that.
Hmm.
It seems as if the next wave of sci fi films could be military sci fi flicks that take on bugs. Robots would be cool too.
I mean, we
Uh,
kind of had that with these. I
yeah,
mean, you had, of course, Aliens and the Terminators
yeah.
and such like that. So it's getting back to basics, I guess. I mean,
And then,
there's a reason why you have bug hunt was so prevalent in the sci-fi genre's lexicon.
mhm. And it also mentions Henry Cavill developing a Warhammer cinematic universe at Amazon Studios. Warhammer 40K takes place in a grim, distant future where a decaying human empire battles relentless alien threats and dark supernatural forces. The main bug like aliens are called Tyranids. The Space Marines 3 video game is also in development. We gotta play Space Marine 2. That's
I
what we
know.
gotta do.
I've been waiting. I've been waiting. I've been in there, but I've been cranking it out in that game. It's so much fun.
But yes, folks, you know how it is.
Oh, did we lose you again? We lost him again. Speaker connected. I can hear you. I can hear you, but you're behind the scenes. Come on in. The water's fine.
I am here. It's just Emu Mux is being a pain.
Well, you were in the back room still. I brought you up front.
I know I was. I'm just saying Emu Mux is being a pain tonight. A royal pain in the keister. But yes, Baron, thoughts on a possible Starship Troopers movie that's more true to the book?
I'm 100% for it. I think I mean, the one in '97 is a good film, but it's a Verhoeven fare. It's not Highline. It's it's not even Highline light, you might say, because again, he had the whole thing wrong. When we talk about respect of the original property, you didn't even get it right there. Um, even going back, we were saying before the show, going back to like the '70s and '80s, there was kind of a movement where people were sitting back saying that only veterans should be able to vote and hold office.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing is, we're tired of these people who never served sending people off to war type of attitude. So, it's been a movement that comes and goes, which of course in this movie or in the book uh, heightens upon that. This is now a world of that. Boom, you only those that serve. Basically, veteranarchy. I don't know if you can call it, that's the actual word, but I'll just use it anyways. And it does, which is a very myopic view to run a government, by the way, just as much anything. But Highline being mischievous in his writing, he'll throw things in there just to make you think. But then what do? They sit back and say, "Oh, that's his mindset." And of course, you get somebody who reads it who's a blithering idiot, and then they start screaming things like, "Oh, he's a fascist," and blah blah blah. And this is, you know, it's like tell me that you didn't read the book by telling me you didn't read the book.
Mm-hmm.
That type of thing. Uh, I mean, it's going to be interesting because in the original book, there is definitely a line between the sexes on what their role is to play. There are no female roughnecks, no female space marines. They're all male. The women serve on board the ships, and which is still dangerous. The reason why, because as Highline was putting in there, the women had a mental aptitude to be able to follow, how ships travel in space, doing the route. Basically, uh, that was an area that they excelled great at, and that's where you're going to go. You're an asset. You're going there. It might not, of course, as anything, it's not 100%. You could have a woman on board that would make a great roughneck, but still, you just had that boom. No, you're a woman. You're here because this is where your aptitude of all women that we view as is the case. Same thing with the men. Well, you're the
And
ones
that's
to
how
tell.
it works in that universe.
Right. And it's one you have to keep in there because, again, it gets you talking, it gets you thinking. You don't have to agree with it. And that's not these books are not having you go out there and go rah rah rah. I have to agree with it, or else I'll start spewing forth. No, it's to get you to think and realize that there's other way people think, and these are the ways they think,
Mm-hmm.
be it right, wrong, or indifferent. That's not the point. Uh, so in this society where just take a look at the recent Star Treks and Star Wars, where they feel they have to deliver everything right up front, and not only that, pound you into submission and say if you think otherwise, well, and then they
You're
bring
wrong.
out the insults. Yeah, they bring out all the insults. They more than say you're wrong. They just attack you. Um, which would be refreshing to see in a film. And of course, like I said, the skinnies, they got to get involved because they were allies of the bugs, the arachnids, and
Mm-hmm.
how they were presented in the first film is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, how did they get from point A to point B? How do these bugs get there? Oh, if they're going to be traveling, I mean, obviously you're not showing FTL, so I mean, how are they able to shoot these giant asteroids at Earth, destroying cities like Rio de Janeiro?
Mm-hmm.
And you weren't able to see it because, well, they were fired off from another planet light years away. And okay, we only have about 5 years until it approaches us, so Let's go have breakfast. We'll talk about it later about how we're going to deflect this. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. So I am. I hope they keep to the true spirit of Highline in this, and being that he worked with Jackson, and we
Mhm.
saw how Jackson was, even though I felt he fell apart with the Hobbit movies. Um, to be able to transcribe what the work is and what his philosophy is, it doesn't matter what we think; it's what the person who did the work thinks, and that's what we're bringing forward. This
Yep.
is their work, so we
It's
might
their
not
work.
necessarily
They're determining how this particular world functions.
right. So I'm hoping this is showing a positive sign. The fact that they're saying they want to be to the book. Again, maybe this is that writing of the ship I was back saying about, where no, they're going to get away from this PC crap. You cannot go in with woke and PC crap with Starship Troopers. It's a hard, brutal world. You don't have time to contemplate Billy Buttonland. You only have time to
Much like
contemplate.
Warhammer.
Yeah, exactly. It's a brutal one. It's a nasty one. People die left and right. Uh, you know, you're not going around with cool looking SWAT team uniforms. You're going around in a giant battle suit, which is going to be freaking awesome to see, if you ask me. And I'd love them to get this out before
Especially if it's
Capital.
practical and not CGI.
Hmm. And I'd love to have them get this out before Cavill does his Warhammer one, as much as I want that to get out, because Games Workshop has a tendency to have their nose out of joint whenever anybody tries to use Space Marine. And this will be the hard thing for them to do, because it's like, excuse me, Games Workshop, you took Space Marines from Highline.
Yeah.
They can get you if they want. So don't mess around.
Well, you know what happens when people mess around? They find out.
Oh, yeah. And don't get me wrong, I love me good 40K. But you got to remember, 40K kind of started off as kind of being parody of several science fiction genres mentioned in one, where there's Doom, Starship Troopers, even Star Wars, Doctor Who, all that stuff. So, um, until they really started getting serious around like their second or third edition of Warhammer. So, yeah, they better cool their jets on this one. I think they're at least smart enough to do that. So let's see. I'm genuinely intrigued and a little excited. It just means I have to read the book again, and oh my god, I have to
I have to
read
get the
the book
book
again. Yeah.
because if I read the book, then go see the movie, I can do a comparison. Okay, what did they get
Yeah.
right? What did they get wrong as far as the movie's concerned?
Yeah. The first few minutes of Starship Trooper 97. Wrong! Close book. Okay.
Well, you're wrong. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
don't get me wrong. It's fun for what it is, but
yeah, yeah.
from what you've told me about the book and why I haven't picked it up by now,
Hmm.
well, that's my fault.
That is your fault.
But, I do want to find the book. As a matter of fact, let's see
It should be easy to find. Yeah.
how much it might be,
Yeah. And while you're
and then
doing that, this is kind of.
How many of you believe that having a hobby is a healthy and perfect way to express your individuality? Show of hands? Now! Well, you're wrong.
all right. So Starship
It
Troopers.
does wonder for my blood pressure. It does wonders for my blood pressure. Oh yeah, you should be able to get one. Even in used bookstores cheap. If that's the route you want to go.
Well, I could get the paperback for $12.35.
Mm.
Okay,
Mm.
call me sold. Call me sold.
He sold. Okay, who was the winning bidder for Mike? Was it you, Padawannabe? Okay. You own yourself a slightly used Mike.
Not that kind of selling, Baron. paperback and it's not that expensive.
Yeah.
Sure, I could get the hardcover because that's about $7 more.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I like having paperbacks of books.
Yeah, I prefer hardcovers, but paperbacks are good, and some books just come out in paperback, so you don't have a choice.
Hmm.
But yeah, I prefer hardbacks myself. Hardbacks like turtles.
Turtles, turtles.
Oh,
Uh,
Padawan, they're going to have it. If they don't, they do not. They should not call themselves a bookstore. It's one of the classics of science fiction. I put that right into those top tier lists of science fiction books you need to read, along with like I, Robot, the Foundation series, Dune. You know, got to remember also Robert Heinlein's the one that wrote Stranger in a Strange Land that even science fiction people have a hard time getting through.
that says something.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's whew. But there's two versions of it though. They did release later on, and long after his death too, uh, his actual version of the book. It was chopped down by the book companies because it was just so weird for them, and I think that's what really made it even harder to follow with. Because of course he was touching some sensitive things in Stranger in a Strange Land. But so I'd like to get my hands on the actual authorized Highline edition of that book. And remember, that's where Elon got grok from. I grok you. Grok is like their way of saying love in that universe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's something to add to my list of things to purchase.
Oh, the Stranger in Strange Land.
I mean, why not give that a shot too?
Why not? You two different highlines with that. That's for sure.
But before we head over to the Rumble side to, of course, talk about the JFK files being released yesterday and also an article from that park place that Cash found, is there anything you'd like to promote, Baron?
Well, hopefully, new edition of Contraband Police on my channel. Now that I'm feeling better, go out and protect the border of Afghanistan from you American dirty pig dogs trying to smuggle in your fake money, your cheap booze, your cheap cigarettes. We have purest vodka in the world. Purest vodka. We don't need your garbage. We have only the best cigarettes. We don't need your Camel Joe garbage. No, no, no. And and money. Of course, you bring money in because you know how strong our economy is. You try to destroy us. So, so I have to protect Afghanistan from people like you, all of you who are sitting in chat, and you who are sitting behind microphones, and that will be hopefully 5 o'clock Central Daylight Time on Baron Omen Tags Fandom Legacy. Da. Baron Omen Tags Fandom Legacy. 5 o'clock Central Daylight Time. I also like to sit next to capitalist pig dog time. Other than that, I don't know what else we got going on. A lot of the stuff that we want to do is on a holding pattern with our dear buddy Cash. But hopefully tomorrow, hard to believe tomorrow already, uh, Jace Fox will have an episode. I was unable to make it last week, as was Cash. We were both sick. I think Kilton was too. So we didn't have a broadcast then. But please join us on 540 Studios, The Beyond, with their host, Jace Fox, that crazy Norwegian himself. Of course, there's Prismatics as well, his cohort. Uh, as I also stated, in previously here, Kilted Keijon. Hopefully, we'll see the sights of Hoshi and Woopa Troopa sometime soon, and of course, Cash and I. That's between 6 and 6:30 Central Daylight Time on Jace Fox's 540 Studio. Come on. And why is it between 6 and 6:30? Because we don't know when it's going to start. He's Norwegian. Back to you, Mike.
All right, and as far as what's going to happen on Pacific414 for tomorrow on both YouTube and Rumble, tomorrow I will be playing the game Repo. I was invited by Fat Steven to join him, Your Ron, Blues Nuts, and Airconda in a game of Repo. So I said, okay. So instead of Metro 2033 Redux tomorrow, that has been moved to Tuesday. It'll be Repo, and that's a fun game, especially when you see us using the in-game voice chat and the mouse flopping around. So if you're a fan of South Park, you know,
Oh my word!
you'll see that, and you'll be thinking of Terrence and Phillip and going, "Hey, buddy, you're not my guy."
You're not my buddy, buddy. Oh, yeah. Well, I went to his channel just before we, before we went over here because he just started his stream. I don't know what, but he was on. He was ranting about something like mad. I just went in there to drop a like and say hi. It's like, woo, okay.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's about all the stupid nonsense that's going on. People setting Tesla dealerships
oh, okay.
on fire and
Oh yeah. I mean,
all that ridiculous nonsense.
yeah. Yeah. I was kind of saving that for like Rumble Hour 2 myself. Rumble, rumble, rumble. But yeah, but I went by and dropped a like and all that. I wish I could have stayed longer, but I had to come here. See how loyal I am.
Well, you can do what I do. Come there, talk to Steve for a little bit. Then when it's
Yeah.
time,
Oh,
come
I
here.
wasn't gonna. I wasn't gonna talk to Fats. He was on a roll. He was whoever it was in the chat that he was in a heated discussion with. It's like okay. I mean, he did acknowledge me, but it's like yeah, yeah. I'm not. Have fun, Fats.
I'm gonna exit stage right.
hmm I mean, it's kind of like me coming in one of your streams, going, "Oh, you're still playing."
Yes, Baron. Of course, I'm still playing. Neither one of us will forget that night when I was playing Arkham Knight, will we?
No, no, because I found it so fucking hysterical. I still do. Well, wasn't Padawan be in there with me too? Or, I can't
Yeah, Padawan had stopped by that night. I
remember.
believe Lady Miss stopped by that night too.
It's like, oh, who pissed in his cornflakes? The game.
Of course, I'm still streaming, Baron. I'm Batman.
I didn't realize I came in a bad moment. A reason why I did that, folks coming in and say, "Oh, you're still streaming," is because Mike gets that a lot from people, and so I
well,
thought, "Oh, I'll just play a little joke on him and go in there and do that." And it's like, boy, did that blow up in my face?
well, I've said it before. The reason why I do long streams, especially for the games,
Yeah,
is because I only stream 4 days a week. So I want to try to get as much of the game done as possible and try to be as entertaining as possible. And
yeah. And trust me, when you're in a mood like that, you're entertaining. You were entertaining to me. That's for sure. But I thought, oh, I'm just going to go in there and tweak them like I usually do. And I didn't realize I came in on a bad moment. Mike is on a.
well, it was like last night. I had to laugh about your comment when I was playing Rise of the Ronin. You were taking bets on how long it would be before I started going
Cussing.
ballistic.
Yeah, going ballistic. Did you?
No,
Oh, darn. Okay.
I said a few cuss words, but it wasn't like some of my rants have been. Playing Arkham Knight or even playing Jedi Survivor, because there was one time Gap After Dark came
Oh, my.
by and I was
Mm,
battling a Rancor and I was getting pissed because every time I tried to dodge, it wouldn't dodge. Every time I
mhm.
tried to strike, I wasn't doing it right. My
Yeah,
timing was completely off.
well, wasn't that also one of the control issues they had too with that game?
Yeah, it was early on and when the
Yeah.
game was released and all the bugs that the game had. I don't know if
Oh,
it
yeah.
still has those bugs because I haven't played it since I beat it.
Yeah. I don't know. One of the reasons why, even when it's on a sale, I don't. It keeps me from wanting to buy it. If
Yeah.
I get it, especially if it's on a good sale like they've had. But it's like I don't want to. I don't want to go through what Mike did too.
Yeah, I will
Especially
say
that in Ranger.
if you do decide to buy it, Baron, make
hmm
sure you turn off the VSync. That was what was causing
hmm
all the major issues. And
Yeah.
every place I went to didn't
I,
have that as a solution. I had to figure it out on my own.
yeah. I remember you saying that. And it's like, why? You were basically in that. Why? I concur. Why?
Hmm.
Well, remember the source.
Yeah. But before we go over to the Rumble side, I do want to acknowledge and thank everybody who was here. Lady Miss, thank you very much for being here. DJ Ronnie G, thank you very much for being here. Padawannabe, thank you very much for being here today. As I scroll up, and I might need you to find a few names too, Baron, because I had to leave then come back.
Well, we had Lester, the San Jose.
Lester, also Dad Man Walking,
Those were the only two that came in when you were gone. So,
Jet Sparks,
hmm
and we also had Tim, also known as FKHC 2005.
who was also known as Tim.
Yes. And that's as far as mine goes, but I know you were here. If there was anyone else that you see near the top, let me know.
I'm a rolling. I'm a rolling. Let's see, there's DJ. Hey, DJ, Patty, and me. Yeah, that's basically. I think we got them all. I know that's the
Okay.
one thing I don't like about this one. When we star, we don't have that little star space where we can go.
No, it doesn't put everybody in their own separate area where you can quickly find the names. That's what I did like about StreamYard, but again, I'm not paying almost $50 per a month to use StreamYard. I'm not doing it. Sorry.
Yeah, no. I
Sorry,
mean,
not sorry.
it's a nice honed machine over there, but not that honed.
But folks, we are going to be going over to the Rumble side where we are going to talk about the
Trouble.
JFK files being released and also an article from that park place where Hollywood is now begging President Donald Trump, to save their paychecks from AI. So we invite you to join us over on the Rumble side if you'd like. And until then, Rumblers, stand by. Those on YouTube, I will see you tomorrow for Repo at 6 p.m. Eastern.
Stand by for news.
Autobots, transform and roll out!
But come on, come over. We haven't
Yeah.
left the YouTube side because I'm trying to entice people to come over to the Rumble side. Come
We're
on.
gonna show. We're gonna show the scene of Desi in the shower because
No,
we can do that on
we're
Rumble. We
not.
can do that. So come
We're
on over.
no, 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 no,
No,
no, no,
no,
no, no,
no.
no.
Oh.
Even
Okay.
Rumble would say nope. But folks, come on over. Come follow us over there.
Yeah.
And if you got things to do, I understand. But have a good night,
Mhm.
YouTube.
Take care. 100% Phil McCracken.